The Magnolia project is one of the most talked about New Orleans housing projects on the internet. Contrary to popular belief, the Magnolia project is known for more than just killers and jackers, although some of the most notorious steppers in the city either hailed from or hung in the Magnolia. There was real money go-getters in the project. One family that comes to mind when talking about the Magnolia are the Sanders, which is one of the biggest family names from the uptown area, more in particular South Robinson Street in the Magnolia. Some of the Sanders names that were ringing in the streets were Stepper, Jeff, Fu, Javel, Janelle, just to name a few. To be honest with you, the Sanders family is way too big to go name for name. Buku aunts, cousins, nieces, nephews, and uncles. If you know, you know. Ronald Sanders, aka Charlie Brown, aka Chuck, was born in 1970 to Ronald Sanders Sr., aka Farmer, and Miss Deborah Sanders. Back in the G, them boys out the Magnolia used to be everywhere. Polo up and belly down. Tonto, Wop, Foo, Busy, Jerkerman, along with a host of others that I have already covered on the channel. To keep it 100, them niggas used to be low-key on some preppy college boy type shit. It's a known fact that in the 90s leading up to the 2000s, all of them boys were getting money. In the mid to late 90s, niggas started switching up their gear, going from only rocking Jabot jeans to rocking entire Jabot outfits. Jabot hoodies, sweatshirts, t-shirts, and all kind of Jabot jean jacket fits. I'm talking before the Jabots with the Velcro straps, X-brand type shit with the knife pocket, or the ones the nigga was rocking. During the early to mid 90s era, it was all about the Jabots with the stripes. If you know, you know. However, not everyone in the hood could afford fly clothes and dope kicks. If you weren't out here in the streets or working some kind of little job, it wasn't happening. The price of a dope pair of Air Max or Bally's was your whole check if you was working at one of them little fast food joints. This shit right here is wild. Dudes used to be selling the knockoff Jabot fits out of vans and trucks in the hood. One of the little white vans used to always be parked right there by the gas station across from the ILA. But to keep it real with you, a nigga like me wouldn't be caught dead with one of them shits on. Them shits was tore up. Why you talking about Jabots, 504? This video supposed to be about Charlie Brown. The 90s era Jabot jean phase will play an important role in this story. Let's move on. A few of the steppers and hustlers out the Magnolia looked out for the have-nots in the project. Charlie Brown was one of those hustlers. For example, Mrs. Gale's son and Nicole's brother, Nicholas Green, aka Big Nick, will be one of those have-nots coming up in the project. Rest in peace, Miss Gale and Nicole. Nick, who wasn't able to afford the real Jabots at the time, will cop from the truck, earning himself the nickname Truck Fit Nick. This will be around the time when the local bars in the hoods were popping, spots like Newton, Simmons, Big Man, 49, and the Detour, just to name a few. Although Nick was too young to actually get in the bars, that boy used to be hanging outside with the girls out the project. One thing about that boy Nick, he stayed around them bras and not on no gay shit either. Unbeknownst to Nick, an unexpected change was about to take place in his life. That unexpected change would be Charlie Brown, aka Chuck. It wouldn't be long before Charlie would take Nick under his wing and start teaching him the game. The first thing that Charlie would do is take out the trash. And what I mean by taking out the trash is removing the loose ends. All of them hanger on the ass dudes and bras that could compromise the integrity of the operation had to go. Charlie would also build a strong relationship with Nick's mother, Gail. Chuck wasn't putting off no sneaky backdoor type shit. And the projects is one porch for the entire building. The balconies and shits were supposed to be dedicated for the upstairs apartments. I'm saying that to say this. Gail's porch on Washington and Willa went from buku people hanging out there to hardly anybody hanging out there at all. This was all due to Charlie putting Nick on game. All them people and shit was making the house hot. All that running in and out shit would come to an immediate halt after Charlie would take Nick under his wing. Charlie, who came from a long line of steppers and hustlers, was no stranger to the game. He knew exactly what it would take to get it on and popping. And just like that, before you knew it, Charlie had cleaned up Nick's image and reputation in the project. That truck fit Nick shit had become a thing of the past. Charlie had that boy nickname ringing in the project. This long-standing business relationship would turn into an actual long-term friendship between Chuck and Nick. So peep game, when it came to whips, that boy Charlie was doing his thing. Most of the dudes with real money out the Magnolia was copping Benzes, Lexus, and Acuras. Charlie, however, would fuck the game up with the white 3 1/4 Beamer. That boy was repping hard, leaving the sales tag in the window so nigga could see that the whip was brand new. This is also around the time when we was rocking the New Orleans Saints logo in the top left hand corner of our front windshields. This was an Uptown Third Ward thing. If you know, you know. After copying the new whip, Chuck played the Beamer regular for a hot minute. The next time everybody would look up, Charlie had tricked that bitch out, kitted it up, painted custom eggshell white with the one-piece rims. One-piece rims were unheard of at the time. The niggas was mainly sliding and shit, sitting on Momos, Barbers, or some other type of star-pointed blades or some shit. No cap, Charlie was the first dude in the city with the one-piece rims. And when I say one-piece rims, I'm not talking about your traditional one-piece wheel that you will find on every whip. I'm speaking of custom one-piece rims. If you don't know what one-piece rims are oversized disc type staggered rims that resemble a saucer or plate. This had to be around like 95, 96, and 97, up in that era. Y'all correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. That boy Charlie at one point would also have an Isuzu Rodeo. All those type of whips like that there were the shit back in the G. Pathfinders, Troopers, Rodeos, Monteros, etc., etc. I believe that boy New York had that Montero thing, but I'll save that for another ep. Let's move on. That Beamer thing was vicious. The whole city was talking about that bitch. It was no secret that Charlie was one of the dudes out the Magnolia who had that work. Them boys used to have a tight little clique though on the slick. Charlie, Jerk, and Javelle. I used to call them boys the firm, like AZ, Nas, and Nature, minus Foxy Brown. Say, bruh, I can't all the way remember if Charlie Beamer got hit up or not, or if he wrecked it. If you were in the street around that time, drop it in the comment section. Charlie Brown was one of them ones. You definitely can't mention the Magnolia without mentioning Charlie Brown or the Sanders family. In an unfortunate turn of events, Ronald Sanders, aka Charlie Brown, would pass at the age of 36 on September the 17th of 2006.